Good evening, everyone. You are very welcome. It is the Mixer Partner Spotlight interview, and we are here this week and joined by none other than Seven-of-7. You're very welcome.
Hello.
Right.
Thank you for having me.
You're more than welcome. We're delighted to actually have you. What we'll do is a little later on, we'll actually get into talking about some of the artwork you do and stuff like that, because it's pretty amazing what you do. But for the time being, we're going to bring you back in our little time machine, and we're going to ask you... actually, before we do, there's one thing I did forget. We do need to ask you, and this is something I've started asking people, the genesis of your name. Now, I know what the genesis of your name is, and you explain it to me, but tell me how you came to have the name 7-of-7.
Well, a lot of people think it's Star Trek. It's a Star Trek reference because of 7-of-9. And I get that every day.
Yeah.
Every day. I mean, and I don't mind. I don't mind it, but it's how it's asked sometimes. People like, this is supposed to be 7-of-9.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You've got the anoraks out.
So I'm just like, whatever. But actually, it's 7-of-7 because I am the youngest of 7 kids, all boys.
Okay. Wow.
So,
Okay.
I think it was fitting. And so, yeah.
I'm the youngest. I'm the second youngest of 7, so I feel your pain on that. I feel your pain.
I was picked on.
Yeah, as was I. But you see, I retaliated because five of my older siblings were all my sisters. So I just
they want to protect their baby brother.
Not a hope in hell. Not a hope in hell. I don't know what family you're thinking of, but that wasn't us.
No,
far from it.
Sarcasm there?
No, far from it. Far from it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
They toughen you up.
Let's talk about your very first gaming memory. Can you remember like the very first time you
gaming?
Yeah.
Yes.
The very first computer game you ever played, or
my memory is shit, but I always remember like the first day my older brothers took me to an arcade, and we're talking late 70s or mid 70s. I was really young, and there was this big machine and Space Invaders. And I'm like, just like, that was crazy. I was like how, you look at Space Invaders now, it's like, oh my God. But when you're a 6-year-old kid, 7-year-old kid, it's just like amazing. And that was my first game. They put a quarter, walked me up to the machine, put the quarter in, just told me what to do, and I died like 2 seconds later. But Space Invaders was my very first game. I'm that old.
Well, you see, I'm delighted because I'm roughly the same vintage as you. Do you know what I mean? So, I actually, the first time I played Space Invaders was on the table arcade machine. Do you remember those big, heavy tables? And I mean, this thing weighed the same as a small car, but it had Space Invaders under a glass thing, and you could sit down.
Snack food smears all over.
Exactly.
Drink rings.
And well, based on the pub I went to when I played it, there was usually blood on it as well. But we'll talk about that. So, obviously, being the youngest of 7, obviously your brothers would have obviously had their gaming consoles and stuff. So, what was like, for you, what was the very first gaming console that you actually got that you owned?
Well, I mean, we didn't have it. We didn't have any kind of video thing. That was our outlet. Was we go to arcades, which are pretty much non-existent anymore. But after that, we'd go to the arcades all the time, and we'd always bug our parents. Oh, let's go! Can my brother take me to the arcade? And so I think they got kind of sick of that. So that same year, Santa brought an Atari 2600.
Yes,
and that was our first. Came with Combat. And of course and Space Invaders, which they knew, and that was like Angel, me and my brothers, and then it was a fight because there's 6 of us, one TV. My parents had the main TV, and then we had the den where we had the TV with the video games, and all of us would battle royal for take turns that Atari 2600. was my first console.
You see, some of the kids that are watching this, that are even, I call them kids because they're in their 20s, would not understand. And I'm pretty sure you're the same as me. You had an old CRT TV, which was massive. Do you know what I mean? And you actually had to tune it in. And I remember that feeling of tuning it in for the first time and actually seeing the start screen and kind of going, oh, it's here.
Or you think it's not working, and it's like, oh, you got to click that switch. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Did you ever get electric shocks off yours? Because I got shocks off. You know the little metal buttons that they had on.
Might have.
Yeah, there's a very good chance. Yeah, I think that's actually what happened to me.
We were too busy fighting over who gets the.
So, moving on from that, then, can you kind of chart your journey? Obviously, to where you are now, but can you chart your journey through consoles and stuff? Like, what was the journey you took?
With video games, yeah, easy. Well, I mean, Atari was the thing, and then everybody blames the ET thing or something. How it just died. It just. I mean, I just lost interest in then. Because I was getting older, and I started working, and I'm going to school. Girls and I just kind of dropped out of it after Atari. You had like the 5200 or whatever, something. They tried that, didn't work, but and then Commodore 64, and then all my brother before me, 6of7, he's a computer genius, so he was doing all that stuff, learning all that on his own, because there was no computer schools at that time. He was.
I need to interrupt you there now. I never interrupt people when they're speaking, but the memory I have of the Commodore 64, and kids don't know how easy they have it nowadays. That was when games came on a tape cassette, and for every level you had to turn the tape and load it in, and never loaded. It never loaded right. I remember playing RoboCop and Platoon on my Commodore 64. And you got to the end of the level, you went, let's next level, and you go, oh fuck, I have to turn the tape over now and start, so
you got that adrenaline going, and then it's like stop.
Yeah, wait for 20 minutes until it loads up again. Yeah. So take us from the 64. Then did you go to the Amiga?
Well, I mean, for me it was the Atari, and then that was it. And then I just kind of, video games weren't like a big thing. And then I was working a fast food restaurant and I was like, in my early teens or whatever, but this lady that I work with is like, her son's going to the military, he's selling stuff, and she's like, he has this thing called a Nintendo, and I'm like, it's video games? I'm like, well, yeah, I like video games when I was younger, like, how much is he selling it for, whatever, and I bought it, and it came with Battletoads. Remember that game?
God, Battletoads, Jesus.
And Super Mario 3.
Yeah.
And so, I was hearing this buzz, this new Nintendo, it's sweeping, across America and stuff, everybody, Super Mario and all this. So I'm like, okay, let me try it. And then I plugged it in, played Mario, and I was just hooked. Like, oh my God, this is way better than an Atari. and then I got introduced to Battletoads, which just made me rage even more. You know? And that's one thing about those Nintendo controllers. You can throw them, and those things.
Oh, they would bounce.
I'm smiling.
Yeah,
smiling at you.
Yeah, they would bounce no matter where you threw them. The same with the SNES as well. You could throw them anywhere, and they just.
So after that, just Super Nintendo 64. Then I kind of other things were going on. I kind of dropped out of it a little bit again, and then a friend of mine was telling me about this thing. Microsoft was getting into the games, and this Xbox, and then I had friends who had PlayStations, and I'd just go over there and play that or whatever. But I didn't get another console until this new thing called Xbox came out, and then I got that, and I went to my local video store and rented Halo, and then I got hooked all over again.
That was the beginning of the end once Halo arrived. Yeah,
and then I was starting to get a little bored, and then Xbox Live happened, and then like, oh my God, I don't have to have friends come over. I don't have to fight with my brothers. I can play with people all over the world. And I was like, that's amazing. Like, wow. It was kind of a rude awakening at sometimes, but it was fun. And I just hooked after that. And then it just became Xbox 360. Then I started getting PlayStation 3, Nintendo Wii. I went back, that's when I got back into Nintendo's the Wii, and then it's been like that. Right now I have an Xbox One X, a PlayStation 4, and still have my original Wii. That's all I have right now. I never got a Switch yet.
Okay. So you haven't been lured by the wilds of Animal Crossing yet, which I see almost every streamer playing at the minute is Animal Crossing. It's like, fucking hell, what is so special about this game?
I see it and I go, I know if I played that,
yeah, you'd be hooked.
Yeah, probably. So I'm like same with Apex. I kind of like, I'm not into VR games, but I saw Apex. I'm like, God, I know if I played that, I'd probably get hooked. And I've been good.
Well, that's happened to me. You see, I actually moved from, I'd been playing COD from, since God was a child, really. I've been playing COD, every single title, always there on the day of release, always, the first. And this year, much and all as I love the multiplayer, and the multiplayer is great fun and it's good crack, the Warzone's just kind of burnt me to the point I'm kind of going, I'm giving something else a try, and I play a bit of Apex, and I love Apex, but just Warzone has kind of almost flattened me.
I'm that little crowd that likes Call of Duty just for the campaigns.
Yeah. Oh, the stories are stunning.
I don't do multiplayer at all. But I love the campaigns, except for I forgot which one it was. It was one of the Black Ops where the story was just long and drawn out. I'm like, all right, already, let's end this.
Well, I remember last year's Black Ops had no story at all, and it was like,
oh yeah,
what the fuck are we meant to do?
But there was one, I think it was like 2 or something, but it was good, but it just kept going, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is it. Oh no, he ran away with this. I'm like, oh my god.
Black Ops.
You ever see Face Off with
John Travolta? Yeah.
And good movie, but the ending they just kept going. I'm like, okay, finish him already.
It was I think the Black Ops 1 campaign with Mason and the numbers, I think, was stunning. It was a stunning campaign. It was stunning to play it through, and it was one of those, and the same with Modern Warfare 2's campaign when Shepard did the unthinkable and shot Simon Wright, and you're kind of going, wow, this is like watching TV. Do you know what I mean? This is our soap. This is our days of our lives.
It was kind of interesting because it was like, the good guys don't always win, or your character just doesn't save the day. You're like, oh wow.
But that's why I really loved the story mode this year for Modern Warfare, because at the end of it, obviously we've kind of gone back to the genesis of how Price and Soap and Gads and then you hear him mention, my friend Colonel Shepard is putting together a team, and for any of the OG Modern Warfare 2 fans, we're like, don't fucking trust him. I know what he's going to do, So talk to us about streaming then. How did streaming come into it? Like, what was your first experience? How did that kind of pop into your head and say,
I had some friends from Xbox Live, start streaming on this thing called Twitch, and I was like, oh, that's kind of weird, I was like, oh, that's interesting, and then when it got integrated with the Xbox One, remember that snap feature they had where you can that silly little thing, so I was like, okay, my streaming experience all on Twitch was just me snapping on Twitch, going live and just playing, and then I just ignore it, because I had no streaming etiquette or any kind of that. I didn't even know the business or anything. I just go live. Oh, cool. People can watch me. And now I would sit there and play with my friends, Overwatch and stuff. And then I noticed, oh, somebody said something. Oh, they're gone.
Yeah. Okay.
I just didn't care. And then one day, it was a slow day at work, and I started watching Twitch, and I started watching these bigger streamers, and like, oh wow, they got thousands of people watching and stuff, and they have this little thing where people could sub to them. I had no idea how you get that, I guess because you're popular or whatever. I go, maybe I'll take this a little more seriously, and see what happens. I'm a musician too, so I just kind of got burnt out on that. So I was like, maybe I'll try this thing, and then the first thing on the agenda was to be good. I figure you have to look good. So I was sitting there figuring out how to make the profile look good, learning how Twitch does it. And but literally as I was doing that, I read this article. I just happened to take a break, and I read this article about Microsoft Xbox with this site called Beam. And it's coming to the Xbox, and it doesn't use the snap feature. There's the chats on the screen. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then the FTL, where you can talk to people in real time. I'm like, I didn't like that. Like, hey, hi, how you doing? Oh, hi, how you doing?
Yeah. It's like a call from Australia 10 years ago, where you had to kind of wait for them to hear it and then answer you back. So, yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's cool. And I go, I'm really into Xbox, so I know they're going to be, more into that. So I was like, let me try this. And so I went and I signed up right away. And it was the day after Valentine's Day 2017. And I went and I looked for streamers who were streaming from the Xbox because I didn't have it yet because it was in the insider's ring. I don't have that. I'm not involved with all that. So, and Overwatch, because Overwatch is my go-to game, still is. And I found a streamer streaming it, and so I went and just kind of watched. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool, and then I went back the next day, same streamer, and then I was afraid to say hi because it just gets lost in the chat, but I just said hello, and then she's all, oh, hello, hi, how are you? I'm like, oh, wow. And then all the people in chat were saying hi, and so I guess that was kind of like I knew, okay, this is nice, I like this. And then I just started asking questions, like how's it look on Xbox and stuff, and I'm she answered all my questions, and to this day we're close. She's now a mixer partner, I'm a mixer partner, we're still close. So but that's where it started. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go try this. But I didn't know about OBS and all this stuff, but I just watched for like the first 2 months. That's all I did was watch streams, and it was kind of getting strange for me because people started recognizing me because I'm in so many streams. Like, oh, hey, yeah, I saw you in the stream. I'm like, oh, okay, networking.
Yeah,
kind of set it up.
Yeah. So, like, what was the genesis then for the journey through to obviously partnership? Like, at what point did you kind of say, shit, I've really got something here, you know what I mean? And, if there's a good chance that, I could apply for partnership and possibly get it. Like, what was that decision like?
Well, when I signed up for Mixer, or at that time it was Beam, I had no clue what partnership was. I mean, I started hearing about it, people talking about, oh yeah, I'm a Beam partner, you get the sub button. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, I ain't gonna do that. That's never gonna. But I just said, okay, my goal is, I'll do this for a year, and maybe I'll try to ask for a partner. And if I don't get it, maybe try another year, and then if not, I'm just done. Usually, I lose interest after that, that long, So, but the first 2 months, like I said, I wasn't doing anything, and then finally, I started streaming from the Xbox, Overwatch, Injustice 2, and I was like, okay, let me try this. I'm playing games, and nothing was really going. I get the people coming in saying hi, 5, 8 people, but still, that was nice. 5 to 8 people. That's a party at your house.
Yeah.
you ever have 8 people over? You have to entertain them. So, but I was still happy. But I was like, I'm not doing anything different than anybody else. Like I wasn't unique. I was just like whatever, and very green. And so 2 months after doing that, I'm just like thinking, I don't know what to do. I just whatever. And then I just happened to see somebody doing art.
Yeah.
Like, I could do that. I could do that. And then I started noticing, I started going digging deeper, all these others, and nothing against it. And I ended up doing the same thing, but everybody was doing digital. And I'm like, well, what about paper and pencil? Let me do that. Not people see I don't see a lot of traditional stuff, and I don't have that stuff. So I did have a tablet, but it didn't have a screen on it, and I just used it for coloring. And so, but I just started doing a lot of traditional art. I had one cheesy little camera and an Xbox headset that I used for the mic and everything, just one monitor, no green screen, no mic, just that. And that's all I had. And then they came out with the mobile app, which I use a lot. And then I started streaming from work during my lunch break and just doing traditional. And then I started noticing things were starting to roll a little bit. Mixer had that show Tips and Tricks, that I got featured on that as one of their 5 streamers to watch. And then one of the staff came in and liked it and tweeted out what I was doing. And that kind of got the ball rolling. And 8 months from when I signed up, I got partnered. Because
not jealous at all.
Well, and at the time it was a lot different. Mixer was smaller, and the requirements were a lot different. But I didn't think I was I was, I ain't gonna do it. And there was a deadline that because they were changing the requirements. But if you signed up for Mixer at this time, you could by August whatever 15th. If you can still apply under the old requirements. And then another streamer just said, why don't you go apply? And I'm like, I don't think I'm doing that. I go, well, you're doing pretty good. You're doing art and you're kind of getting, not quite what they require, but pretty close. And I was like, and I just started thinking, what's the worst that can happen? No. Oh, okay. I think, some people are afraid of that answer. No, rejection. But I was just like, whatever, I've been told no plenty of times, trust me. So I just said, okay. So I didn't know, I know what to write in my application, but I didn't know how to structure it. So luckily I had the help of other streamers who I got to know that would help me like, okay, this is what you want to say. Okay, put it like this, or here's my app, and kind of use that as a template. And I did. And I just went on thinking, this ain't gonna happen. And then I got the email back. Oh, hey, we like to review your channel. At the time when this was going on, they used to watch your channel. I was like, oh, okay, all right. And I'm supposed to do what I do. They just watch or whatever. Okay, so at that time, PAX was going on. So somebody told me, you might take a little longer.
Yeah.
So I was like kind of sweating, like, just tell me yes or no. And then finally it came in and said, you're in, and at that time you had to go through like an interview and talk to somebody. And then after that, you have to go you meet your partner manager, and they take you through the Discord and all that stuff. I heard it's a lot different now.
It is. It's a little, it's not the same, because I know Tinkerbell and Rooster and a few of the kind of older partners had that interview, or I know Tink had actually 3 people on her interview. She had a panel interview with them. But from that point, like, obviously for me, and I'll just say this as a personal, like I remember the first time obviously hearing of your name and who you were, and you'd popped into one of our other episodes. And I remember even, I think it was one of our guys is Hunksy. I said, have you checked this guy's profile out? You have to see his profile. His profile, fucking awesome. So because we're all used to the kind of fairly standard linear profiles that we normally see, so pop into your stream and we see this art, and it's like, obviously it's something you're recognized as much for as your gaming is obviously your art as well. So for you, like, I suppose the question really is, like, how did you end up then doing artwork for other people? You know what I mean? Like, did people approach you and say, hey, I like it?
Once they find out you're an artist, man, your DMs fill up pretty quick. And I'm not, I don't do a lot of commissions because I don't like being told what to draw, when to draw, why to draw it, in deadlines. I hate that. The pressure, I can't do it. That's why people's like, oh, you should do comic books. Oh, hell no.
Okay, fair point.
And I just have, if the things I draw, I have to be a certain mindset. Like, I want to draw that. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I like it. It will come out great. If I'm like, well, I'm not really in the mood to draw that, it'll still, maybe to the average person, it'll come out, who don't do art. Oh, that looks amazing. But to me, it's just like, oh my God, that's crap. Yeah. I don't like it. And I'm just not into it. And I'd rather do something. So I don't like when people come to me, I'm like, yeah. I don't, and then the people I do it for, it takes a bit. So, usually I can, honestly say, hey, I'm a little tied up right now. So, yeah. And, but, I don't, because I don't feel like I can do the best work I can for them. Sometimes, when I'm just not in the mood, it's like, I can do it for them and I can get in that mood and do it, and they can have it within a week or months. It's just depending. I go, if you don't care about deadlines, I'll do it for you. And so find somebody else. If you can find somebody else, excellent. Do it. But I'm just not into that. I'm not into that, making like a crazy living. It's just a hobby. I love doing it. I don't need it to, I mean, it's nice, but there's a lot of other better artists out there that probably can do what they want, better, I wasn't into the emotes because the emotes are, oh God, those things are awful. They're a lot better now.
Yeah.
They're a lot better now. And
Yeah.
the stickers are easy.
Yeah.
But I found that the emotes are doing a lot better now. So maybe one of these days, maybe I might open up a little more.
Yeah.
And say, okay, guys, I'll do it. But now I'm doing a lot of shit for a wrestler right now. So he kind of takes priority.
Are we allowed to name the particular wrestler?
Oh yeah, we can. Yeah, I'm sure, if I don't badmouth them, so
yeah,
I'll think you mind,
Mister. Yes. So just in case you are wondering, 7-of-7 does a lot of the artwork for AJ Styles, who is on Mixer as well. So
under STYLESCLASH.
STYLESCLASH. Yeah. So make sure you do check it out. But trust me, check out 7-of-7's artwork. It's stunning.
Yeah, I do all his panels, all his emotes, all his stickers.
Don't go hammering them for work, okay? Just in case you wonder what the last 10 minutes was about, people. He was politely saying, "Don't fucking bother me with stuff." Right.
Oh, yeah, somebody had me do emotes for them recently. Another Mixer partner that I agreed. Yeah, okay, I'll do your stuff. But I'm like, give me a few minutes. The wrestler needs stuff, so he takes kind of priorities.
Well, he kind of does, yeah.
He takes care of me. So.
How did that? If you don't mind me asking, just actually very briefly, how did that relationship start?
Oh, that was easy. There was another mutual Mixer partner who just happened to got in contact with AJ. If you watch his streams, he has another guy named Chris who you hear in the audio. Yeah. He's like his best friend. He does all his streaming business for him because AJ, he's busy doing the other thing. And so Chris takes care of all of that. And she got to know him, and Microsoft was going to bring him in and just, get their artists and do stuff. And this other partner's like, no. There's other creative people on Mixer that, homegrown people, have them do his stuff. And then I was recommended to him, and I had 10 days because WrestleMania was coming up and they were going to promote him because he's just now on Mixer, and he was going to do giveaways and stuff like that. He needed like 12 emotes, 10 stickers, the panels. I'm like, oh my God. So, so through them, and I got to meet Chris, and we kind of just hit it off, and I did this and it worked out. Everything was fine and done. And then, but Chris said, hey, we'd like to keep you on. Because, stickers, we like to change it for, like, when pay-per-views come up, we can change it to help promote that. If he wants to change this. I'm like, hey, I'll do it. Yeah, fine.
Yeah, nice one.
So, and then, he just started, you get to know him and talk to him. We don't have, like, we don't call each other up and say, hey, come
what
to my kid's Christmas. Hey, you coming over for Christmas party? No, nothing like that. But we got to know him better. He, and become more than just business people. We're kind of friends. We rib each other. We do all sorts of stuff. But and then seeing him stream, seeing him with his kids come on, and I'm like he's just like me, he's a dad, and then his love for games. If you've seen him, his collection is very impressive.
Yeah, I've watched his VODs, all right, and
it's he's a big video game freak, especially when he goes to Japan. He gets all sorts of But so I see him as a gamer, a dad, and then I forget he wrestles. I'm like, oh yeah, he's a wrestler. But seeing him like that, and he's a cool dude. He's really nice. He really loves his fans.
Excellent. Well, there you go.
Yeah, so it's fun.
Clash of Styles, people. That's another channel you can check out. Let's move on actually to trolls, and I'll tell you why. Because they're there, okay? They're everywhere.
I don't get much of them anymore.
Yeah.
I do hear so often, and earlier in the days when they used to get the Xbox dashboard features, then that's when I got a lot of them.
How do you, if it happens to you, because we always like to find out from partners, how do you deal with it? What's your method? Let's say, what's your approach?
No chill. I don't care. I have a mod. She doesn't give two shits. You come in and fuck around, gone. Bye.
God, that's the
See you later.
That's the same as my missus. There's no second chance.
I don't put up with that crap. I'm pushing 50. I don't care. I just, I know some streamers go, I like to educate them and teach them. I'm like, no, good for you.
I don't have patience for that.
I just get the F out of here. I don't care. And, it's I mean, like, uh, if they come in and just say stupid things, I'll just delete it or time them out. But if
Yeah.
it's attack is personal, like,
No,
name
God.
calling,
Yeah.
that's immediately. But I don't have time.
I usually get the odd one that pops in and says like, "Oh my God, you're fat," and it's like, yeah, but like, tell me something I
fat?
don't, tell me something I don't fucking know. You know what I mean?
Oh no,
What am I going to do? I'm
I'm,
43 and I'm fat.
I'm fat because I don't chase hoes.
I'm stealing that answer, by the way. I'm stealing
Go
that
ahead.
answer. Yeah.
I stole that from somebody.
Yeah.
So.
I'm fat because I wasn't chasing your mom or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever,
So listen, you kind of answered this already, but what's under the hood for you? Like, obviously, you've got the Xbox and the PlayStation. What sort of PC are you running to kind of stream?
Oh, I got a dinosaur for a PC. It's like an i5. It's a 12-year-old Dell Inspiron or Inspiron, whatever you call it. It's
for the kids out there. Dell used to be a huge company.
Dude, you're getting the Dell.
Yeah. Oh, goody.
But,
I can replace my gateway.
I mean, for what I do, it's fine because it doesn't, I mean, I really do need one because now I got 2 monitors, I got a mixing board, I got a stream deck. But it's still holding up. So, and then I don't use a capture card when I do games. I use the PlayStation remote desktop app and the Xbox app to stream because I don't stream a lot of games all the time.
Yeah.
This following week or previous week, I played a lot of games, but that's just far and few between. But when I do, that's what I use. So,
and what about headset then and microphone? What are you using?
This is just a toner microphone that I got for $34 on Black Friday. It's not, but it works. I just wanted to test the waters because I had this Xbox headset. This is way better.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair point. Fair point.
But nothing really powerful. I got the C920 Logitech cameras. I got one here. I got one on this.
Oh yes.
For overhead when I do my art. I got that on there, and it was basically it. I just got a Stream Deck a couple weeks ago.
They're great fun, aren't they?
I joined the and then I got my little mixing. I got this little mixing board right here for my mic and stuff. Yeah. It's just a little tiny little guy.
Oh, very nice.
But and it does make me sound better, and it's just
excellent.
Just that thing that made me sound like I was in a tin can. This and then the mixer helped, and then I got my XP pen drawing tablet that somebody in Mixer community gifted me.
Oh, very nice.
Okay. I just had a tablet that didn't have a screen, so I was like drawing here, but had to watch.
Yeah,
and it was still good, but it's kind of a learning curve. But I got used to it. And then somebody got me this. He was going to send me a used one that he had, but then he just saw it was broken, and he tried to fix it, and then he just said, "Screw it, here, I bought you this. Enjoy it." I'm like, "Oh my god." Yeah, so
yeah, just a hint, viewers, hint. People buy him stuff. Okay, right.
No, it was very nice, and
yeah.
I thank this person ever. He's a really good supporter and champions my work and stuff. So
excellent.
He wanted me to be better, and I got better with this.
But that's what Mixer's about as well. It does have that sense of community. I think that other platforms don't have, because other platforms are so saturated with content. And when I say saturated, I mean, like, we obviously know who we're talking about here, but it's just that there's so much going on there. Whereas Mixer, it's almost ideal for its size because it's more of a community. Like, you know what I mean? Partners know each other. And it's amazing when you're chatting with partners, they'll reference other partners that they've known since day dot. So, that's why I like Mixer. It's got that sense of community that other platforms don't actually have, But, okay, so we're going to get on to our little bit now, and this is our Desert Island Discs bit. This is always my favorite bit of the interview. So we get to find out a little more about 7-of-7, and I'm going to ask you what your favorite album, book, movie, and game is. Now, you can't just reel them off. You have to give us a reason as to why they are what
Oh,
they
I
are.
gotcha.
Okay?
Album, book, movie, and game.
Okay, so we'll start with album first. What's your favorite album?
Just one, huh?
Just one.
I would have to say the Beatles, Sergeant Pepper.
You are a captain in my book.
I choose that because I'm a big prog rock guy.
Yeah.
I play keyboards. I'm a musician. I play, and Beatles are like my top band.
Yeah.
My top three bands are Beatles, Queen, and Rush. But Beatles, I picked Sergeant Pepper because I think that's probably like the first prog rock album, because they broke all the rules on that one.
Yeah.
Like everything is just not your standard stuff. All this experimentation, I like it. It takes you on this journey.
Well, that's the thing about the Beatles, though.
Different. Every song just has a different feel, and so I think
I have every single Beatles album on vinyl. Do you know what I mean? But you can actually chart their journey through their albums, I think, and chart their development, because obviously Peppers was really when they started kind of going, wow, this drug is really cool. Let's go write a song.
Yeah, I like bands better when they were on drugs. Like drug Aerosmith and sober Aerosmith are two completely different bands, and I like drug Aerosmith. I'm sorry.
I prefer coked out John Coltrane than sober John Coltrane. If you've ever heard his two opposing, it's a totally different thing. It's a lot more.
They're not bad either one, but if you want me to, if I had a preference, sorry.
No, it's true.
Sorry, kids. Kids.
Drugs are bad.
drugs are bad. Okay.
Unless you're a genius musician, and then they kind of help with the creative process. But no, drugs are bad. Drugs are bad. Drugs are bad. Mixer, if you're watching, drugs are bad. Okay, we are not condoning drug use. Bad. So let's move on to your book.
Oh shit. I would have to say Roadshow by Neil Peart, which the late drummer from Rush, who just passed away. I'm sorry to interrupt again, but one of the greatest drummers of all time. All time. And I'm a drummer. And, looking at Neil Peart doing solos, and you're kind of going, I will never, ever get to that level. It's one of my favorite art prints that I did. If you ever, I have it on the shirt here. I don't know if you can see it right there.
There he is. Yeah, I see him.
I did the whole band. But when he died, I did that right away, and it came out great. But he wrote a book. He wrote several books, and if you don't know his story, his wife or his daughter was killed.
Yeah.
At 19, single car crash, and then almost a year to the day, later, his wife died of cancer, and then he just went on this bike ride through America and Canada and all over. And he wrote a book called Ghostwriter, which it deals with all that and how he overcame it, how he dealt with it. And then he did another book called Roadshow, which is the same thing. He rode on his bike. He had a tour bus, but he liked to ride across America, and he chronicles everything he's doing, the sights he's seeing, going to all these parks, whatever. And at the same time talking about Rush and his shows and all this kind of stuff. And it's just an interesting journey. And then talks about how he goes to different places where people didn't know who he was, didn't know who Rush was, and which he really loved, like staying at a castle in Germany where in a suit and tie and having dinner and all this kind of stuff. And they didn't know who he was, and he liked that. But just the interesting things he talked about, and then going through to America and visiting every major park so he can get his little stamp on his little journal and stuff. It's a cool story. And then talks about fans and aggressive fans, and it was just an interesting. It just had me hooked, and I just like reading about his journey going across America, especially places that and he's talking about, and you're like, oh yeah,
The thing about Neil Peart as well, I think he wasn't so much a drummer; he was a force of nature. Do you know what I mean? And if anyone has ever not like kids, I'm back to the kids again. But if you ever want to see it like a drummer, he was stunning. You know what I mean? He really was.
I've seen Rush on every tour since '84.
See, I never got to see them because they never toured Ireland. You know what I mean? I think they went as far as the UK, and that was it. And I do know that Alex Lifeson spent a bit of time in Dublin with Ronnie Wood, because obviously Ronnie Wood has a house in Dublin, and obviously Bob as well, and Joe Elliott from Def Leppard. But I know he spent a bit of time actually, and I think about 7 of them went out to dinner one night. Paul McGuinness, the manager of U2.
I'd love to be a fly on that one.
Yeah, The Edge, Ronnie Wood, Charlie Watts, and Alex Lifeson. Do you know what I mean? And they all went out to dinner in but it's that's the worst thing about Ireland, that we don't get to see some of those. But like Kiss have never been to Ireland either.
Really?
You know what I mean? And I'd love to see Kiss just for the experience of seeing Kiss.
I saw Kiss when they first got back together with
Sober.
Peter, Peter and Ace. Well, sober. If you read Paul Stanley's book,
sober-ish.
But that's when they put the makeup back on. So I was like, oh, I'm there.
Yeah.
I just want to say I seen Kiss, and I seen them with their makeup. I saw them before that when they were the 80s Kiss and glam and all that. But with their makeup was cool. And then they did their first farewell.
That was the first of 9, I think it was.
Yeah. But it was actually the farewell with the original lineup, and I went to see them there, and that was a good show. And not only with Kiss, but Ted Nugent opened for him.
Oh wow!
And Skid Row, but this was without Sebastian Bach. This was whoever, but they were all right. Then Ted Nugent came on, and Ted Nugent was just. I kind of almost like Ted Nugent better than Kiss. I was like, oh my god, I never seen Ted Nugent. I saw him with Damn Yankees, that little band he had with Tommy Shopsticks and Jack Blaze from Night Ranger, but I never actually. And he had his drummer was Tommy Aldridge, who played with Ozzy.
Yes.
And he was a motherfucker on those drums. I'm like, oh my god! And the dude hasn't changed. He has that big fro and bang on the drums. And then Kiss comes on, you got Peter Criss just all, and I'm like.
Well, I will say my top 3 drummers of all time, if I was given it, would have to be Nickel McBrain, followed very closely by Neil Peart, but I'd say at the top of the pile has to be Buddy Rich, without a shadow of a doubt.
Of course.
But Buddy Rich, again, Buddy Rich when he's on something, as opposed to when he's sober, it's a totally different Buddy Rich that you see. Again, don't do drugs, kids. Don't
do drugs.
Yeah. So let's move on then to movie. What movie?
I kind of want to say Star Wars, but I'm not going to, because Star Wars was like that was it for me. But I gotta say Godfather.
Okay, excellent.
Because I grew up watching that. It was one of my father's favorite movies, and I just like that transformation of Al Pacino's character. Yeah, Michael. World War was it II vet, and
fresh faced and. My family are wonderful.
Yeah, and then by the end of the movie, he's just this ruthless. Zero fucks.
Now, I'm going to ask you: are you including 3 in that?
No,
that's good. Yeah, there's only ever been 2 Godfathers made. By the way, I just realized actually our last chat about music. There's a lot of people who won't know what we're talking about, because we're talking about bands that started in the 60s and rolled through the 70s and on into the 80s, and unfortunately aren't really there anymore. Do you know what I mean? The likes of Rush and Kiss. I don't know what Gene Simmons is doing. He's probably fighting another divorce battle at this point, but
or selling something.
Yeah, but they were bands that were actual bands. You know what I mean? They were 5 guys on the stage, or in Rush's case 3. But that was what music was about, raw fucking energy. Do you know what I mean? And seeing these guys get up on stage.
They paid their dues.
Oh,
They didn't win a contract on The Voice.
No, that's for sure, yeah. I always remember a great story that Keith Richards told just before, because I could talk about music forever, but it's a great story.
Oh, yeah, I can go hours.
Keith Richards, I've read every book. I worship the man, and I always think, what kind of world are we going to leave for Keith Richards when we all die? Because that man is never going to die.
When the world ends, it'll just be Keith Richards and Betty White. Those 2 people are always going to be around.
See, I really believe Keith Richards should run for the US presidency, because he'd get it. Do you know what I mean? He wouldn't even need to look for a nomination. People would just vote him in. And Betty White is the first lady. There you go. Fantasy in your head. But I always remember Keith Richards talking about the very first time he met Muddy Waters. They went down to Sun Studios. Not Sun Studios, the other famous blues studio. But they went in, the Stones, first time in America. They'd just been arrested, but they had gotten to the studio in time, arrived into the studio, and there was a guy whitewashing the walls. And they asked him to, the exact words that Keith Richards used, but they asked him to fuck off. They were about to start recording. And it was only then that the producer came over and said, you do realise you've just told Muddy Waters to fuck off out of the studio.
Whoops. Oh, well.
Yeah, there you go. A royalty. Anyway, final question, possibly the hardest question. What game? Now, this is a desert island, so this is the only game you're ever going to be able to play.
I would have to go to my go-to game, which is Overwatch.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Do I get all the updates and DLC that comes with it? Like when they add a
Go
new
on,
character.
I'll allow it. I went into my son's bedroom last night, and he normally plays Fortnite and stuff. He's 13 years old, and he said, Dad, I found this epic game. And I went, what is it? Overwatch. I went, that's been fucking around for the last, that's been there. There's world championships with that thing. Oh, I love it. I love it.
My 19-year-old is now, I mean, he's familiar with it, but now he's getting into it more. But I don't like first-person shooters whatsoever. I don't like multiplayer games. I like co-op games, but for some reason, Overwatch hooked me. And just the way it looks, it's fun. I like it. Everybody's like, oh, it's salty. Yeah, but I don't talk to people. I mute everything. Yeah. When I hear somebody go, hey guys, how's it going? Mute. Sorry. No offense. I just don't want to hear talking.
Right. Okay. We've got 2 questions left for you. The first one, it is a good one now. This is one actually I've just started introducing into the interviews quite recently. What is your, now, I'm going to include your art within this, but what's your one big passion outside of gaming and streaming? What's your one big passion?
Well, I mean, the art thing, but and I'm starting to get a little bit into it because I'm incorporating it into my streams as music. I'm a musician. I play keyboards. I played in bands. I've opened for some notable people, I guess. But
go on. You have to name drop. You have to fucking name drop now.
Well, they won't. People, the kids won't. But Foghat, I've opened.
Wow,
for.
Really?
It was
Slow Ride all the way.
Yeah, I mean they're much older Foghat, but hey, I opened for Foghat. I don't care.
Yeah, I know. And again, there's a band I know, Slow Ride, one of the greatest stoner anthems of all time.
Well,
Slow Ride.
The kids probably know it because it was a big hit on Guitar Hero 3.
True, actually, it was. And it's been featured in Family Guy. I don't know how many times. Every time the guys roll up a joint in Family Guy, Foghat starts playing. You know what I mean? It's just, it's an instant association now.
I've had experience with bands and stuff, and that. I mean, I've had a song played on a radio, here locally, and stuff like that. But I just got burnt out. And that's another interesting thing real quick is that because when they know you're an artist, you do all the artwork too, the demo tape cover and stuff. But I got so burnt out that I stopped doing art for 16 years from 1997 to 2013.
Wow.
I didn't draw at all. Then when my wife got pregnant, it was a tough pregnancy for her. The morning sickness never went away. She was always in bed. So I had to take care of her, but sitting here at my desk.
Yeah.
And finally, I just got a paper out and I started drawing and just back into it again.
And the rest is history.
But I haven't really done music. So I got a MIDI keyboard with the software and stuff. And I tested it out a couple of weeks ago on stream, just playing piano or I had all these cool sounds and stuff. And I've been playing with them more where I can make loops or pre-recorded or just myself. And then I solo over it and stuff. So I'm thinking about getting that a little more maybe.
I've actually noticed, just when you mentioned that there are a few partners and a few people I know that everyone plays instruments. I'm really getting to the point now I think we should actually start a mixer band. Do you know what I mean?
Trying to do it live?
Yeah, we try to do a live gig via mixer with, whatever.
It can be done.
It can be done.
It can be, but it has to be well thought out. But yeah, there's a lot of good. And as we speak at this time right now, Mixer's doing a charity with all the musicians, a 72-hour thing, and all great people, and they're really crushing it right now.
I caught the Rolling Stones did one quite recently for, I think it was Elton John's concert or whoever had organized Lady Gaga's concert, but they had the Rolling Stones on. I'll never forget it. So they had obviously a 4-way Zoom call with the Stones, and it was like obviously they had the track playing. The problem was Charlie Watts was playing Pots and Pans. But it wasn't Pots and Pans we were hearing. Do you know what I mean? It kind of killed the authenticity of it. It was a proper studio track, but Charlie Watts is sitting there going, okay, it's time for my evening Primrose Oil because I want to go to fucking bed now, so I'm just going to play whatever's in front of me. It was actually the funniest thing ever because obviously you could tell it was overdubbed terribly badly.
Well, I said you should overdub it because I saw Journey do it recently when they introduced their new bass player and drummer, and they all did that, and I'm like, oh, God.
I tell you who's actually doing it really well, just very briefly. John Fogerty is doing it. He does quarantine songs and he's playing the whole CCR backlog. Do you know what I mean? Our back catalogue, he's doing, Green River and Fortunate
Is he
Son.
like 100?
He's about 120 at this point. You know what I mean?
He's still going, man.
He's got his family enrolled in it now, and they actually do kind of sessions every night where they play one big CCR hit.
Cool.
You know what I mean? And it's really good because it's live and it's there, and they have it done or he'll go and walk out into the field of his 500-acre fucking ranch that he has and play a song, and someone will video it, and it actually works out really well. It's really cool stuff to see. Okay, again, we could talk for fucking hours about music and stuff, but I'm going to move on. Our final question, and this is the prophetic one now. This is the one that, what would your one bit of advice be to streamers out there? And I mean the streamers who are just starting, the streamers who are established, the ones who are going for partnership. Give us your advice.
Just have fun. And this has been mentioned before in the other interviews. Cranky Canuck, mentioned by Rooster, and I'm sure Tink has mentioned it. But those were my people I watched when I first started. Never asked them any for streaming advice, but if somebody would ask them and they would say, and I would listen, I would just watch them. But learn from him is just have fun. If you're in it for the fame and fortune, they're going to see through that. They're going to see that you're full of shit. He said, he told me, have fun, and that will come with it. And I mean, I'm not popular or raking in the dough or anything, but I'm getting, something out of it that I was like, wow, and because when he's just have fun, I'm like, whatever, that ain't going to happen, but I'm having fun. I just do my thing. And then the stuff started rolling in, and the love and the support. I was just like, wow, that's crazy. I never thought, there is hope for the human race, I guess, but really just have fun. Just enjoy. If you don't like it and it just look like you're just like, like, oh my God, I got to do this. People are, and that's what happened with me when I was doing the gaming.
Yeah.
I wasn't loving it. I was just like, oh man, this is awful because I'm not doing anything unique. And I'm trying to put on this pretend face, and I know it wasn't working. And then I started doing the art. I'm having fun because when I see my art stream when I was a kid, when I was in junior high school, at lunch, I would come sit on a bench, have my lunch, but I'd get out a sketchbook, draw, and then my friends would come sit down. Someone would bring a radio. We'd sit and listen to music and have fun and talk. And that's basically what my stream is back. That's what it was. And, it was, so I'm having fun, and I have friends and people come in, and new people or just whatever, and we joke and we do, schoolyard talk and humor. I'm not your basic art stream. We kind of get a little, we're not, I wouldn't say like just dirty, but the F word flies, but it's not like effing. But okay. I just don't want to worry about that, So we just have fun. We just talk like, just a bunch of people getting together, having fun. Just have fun. And that stuff will come, if you really love it and you work hard, I mean, I think I can do much better, but, I got wife and kids and job and stuff like that. And I can only get on at a certain time. So that's fine. I'm not trying to go for full time, whatever. But I'm sure if I was a lot younger and not married with kids, it'd be a lot different. I'd probably be a full-time streamer and taking risks and doing that, but I'm not. And so for what I'm doing, it's working. To me, I think I'm successful because what is success? I set a goal, I achieved them. I think I'm successful.
Personally, I think success is if you're happy in doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the simple.
There's days where I just want to just punch this mic and just like not do it, but everybody has those kind of days. It's fine. Yeah. But lately, sometimes I see people fighting on Twitter or social media, and it's just like, why am I with all you guys?
Yeah.
I don't want to do it, but I just go, whatever. I just go sit in my corner, draw, have fun. You want to come along and join in on it? Great. And so if you're starting, just have fun. Have fun.
Well, listen, 7-of-7. Not to be confused with Star Trek. He didn't make a mistake. Okay, it's a different fucking name, so don't start commenting. His name is 7-of-7 for a totally different fucking reason, okay? But listen, thank you very much, because I know it's quite early where you are this morning, so thank you very much.
That's fine. I'm jumping back into bed after this.
You're going to go right back into bed to dream of me and CST. No,
well.
And ironically, this is episode 7 of...
That's
so we got 7-of-7 on episode 7 of the Mixing Partners Party. But listen, thank you very much for taking the time out.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for giving us an insight into your life as well, and your art and AJ Styles and everything else. I have a feeling, by the way, if we actually lived in the same country, we'd be like the two guys, the grumpy old men. Fucking kids nowadays. They're fucking
talking about music all night.
Fortnite shit. But listen, thank you very much indeed for taking the time out.
Thank you so much.
Before I get sued, I'm going to end the interview.
Okay. All righty.